Alright, this is SeptumSin of SeptumSin versus the World, and greetings to you all. I have finally finished a project that took me what seems like forever, because I started the project actually in 2023. I said I'm going to do something new, and I'm going to try and reshuffle. Then a lot of stuff bad happened in 2023, and I was unable to do it. So I stopped, and I was there. Then 2024, and I said, you know what? This year I'm going to do it. And I actually got started on it and then got stalled out because of other bad stuff. But I went ahead and I worked hard, and I have finally got all of my media stuff reorganized, expanded, and together. So I'm going to walk you through to show you everything I have. Later on, I'm going to do some more in-depth videos about each section for those of you who really like to look at the collection in depth and see what I got. I will go through it in depth, section by section, in later videos scattered on throughout. But this is going to be a full overview so that you can just see the basics of all the collectibles and all the movies that I've got up. So, well, let's get started. So right here, this is my office. I have this basically as I come into the house, and I got the American flag here hanging up. I got my Anderson leaving. So I got my printer. My printer I use for a lot of things, like if I'm gonna do some movie making. I even have my little director's clapboard, my Alice Cooper set, and some River City Rebels stuff and Rebel Gaming Club stuff right there, just as a little ideal there. Little miniatures. Most of this stuff came from my grandfather, and I just left it because I thought they looked cool. And I've got a bunch of pens. All of these pens, some of them my grandfather collected, but a good number of them I have collected over the years. And of course, my grandfather had a hat collection, and this is only a part of it because when he passed, a lot of people took hats, but a lot of people left them as well. So a couple of these train pictures that he had hanging. This little guy here came from Venice. I actually bought it from the artist straight up and gave it to him, and then it came to me with the house when I bought it. That ship I inherited from my father. That was assembled many years ago. He was very protective of that ship. It was found in an antique store in the 1930s. So it was an antique back then. Same with that Benedictine there. My dice, and in the toxic waste, I like to kind of marinate my GM dice. So if I ever take up GMing again, I have the dice. I have the an album here, River City Rebels, Done with Love. I don't have a lot, but you know, my Final Fantasy VII poster, some pretty cool stuff here. Political pens. My other grandfather really liked to do politics, so he collected political pens during a lot of campaigns, and you've got some pretty cool ones. I mean, there's Teddy Roosevelt during his presidential campaign, Kennedy, Nixon, even more down here. Over here we have boxing gloves that are signed by Vladimir and Vitaly Klitschko, which both together held all the world championships for heavyweight, so that's kind of cool. And over here we have one of my few anime figurines for quintessential quintuplets. This is an old World War II belt, World War II bayonet, a officer dagger. I'm not going to say what because of YouTube stuff, but you know, this came from Japan, also during World War II. These are old swords. I don't know much about them other than they are old. Not Lucy over there. She's not that old. My Black Panther, and of course my pop figure collection. I don't have many. I don't really care much for pop figures. You can tell I use this as a filming location. But I did the characters that I like. You know, ring light for when I'm actually filming. This is a D&D dice roller. You stick the dice in the head, it comes out here. We use that to help us determine random movies and stuff. And I'm going to show off that in a minute. In fact, I'll show this off now. As you can see, that's my Pac-Man Ghost and my Yuri. which is kind of cool. They look cool when it's in the dark. Usually during discussions for Inside Movies Galore, I like to have them on and just have the light lower so I can, see it better and enjoy it. So I've moved my NIS collection over here because it's less moisture here and less stuff is in the way, and I can see it better. So this is kind of cool. I mean, it's sad. I mean, it's not the complete one, but it's most of them. I mean, I got a good number of them here. And down here, a lot of my books, mostly Stephen King, the entire Tech War series. For those of you that remember that. I mean, I've got more stuff over here, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. Over in here, I have my Code Geass Giant set because it's hard to find a good place for it. My not iPad, but my tablet. Some of my oversized manga, Ranma and stuff like that. Some various stuffs. A little Boglin there. Some card stuff. I need to put those back up. The cat's kind of destroyed it. Try and get up there. And I got some extra stuff for when I'm Blu-ray and DVD making. Those are my comic book boxes for what comics I had left. I used to collect a lot of them. I don't anymore. But I still keep the ones that mattered to me. So more stuff here. Now, this is a CD, actually a Blu-ray and DVD copier. So I stick one I want to copy on one side. And so long as there's not a lot of copy protection on it, I can get a copy on the other. Which, when I was making these for people, it was very useful. I've got here, of course, most of my D&D and role-playing stuff. And I got my Anderson. Hey, Anderson, what's up, baby? Yeah, my Anderson pooper. Yeah. Good boy. All right, let's move on. For those of you who actually watch the show, I'm sure you've seen me wear a number of these hats when it comes to my what little skits we've done. Matter of fact, there's Pukul, who was in a lot of the earlier skits with my In Search of Darkness poster. Very little do we have on VHS, because this is the entirety of my VHS collection. Not too much there. There's a little bit of other stuff, but that other stuff I don't really watch. It just was inherited. I've got a collection of mugs right here. Most are not mine. A lot of the shot glasses are. And actually a good number of the mugs and stuff became mine later. I really like that Ranma Cappuccino cup. That's pretty old. But that is technically not just my collection. This is also my wife's collection as well. I got my Rebel Gaming Club one, which I thought was cool. And I've got these. These were Long John Silver's ones, and they were really cool back in the day. They were just really cool. So, over here we got our ferrets and a ferret and a weasel, both kind of keeping up with my rest of my manga collection. Again, not big, but I just keep what I read. And right now, the only manga I'm reading is Skip Beat. I need to get volume 50, but it doesn't come out until March, so yeah. So here I've expanded a little bit into this room because I've cleaned it out. Not far. As you can see over here, I got to remove these because I was using these for storage. We're going to go up in the attic. I've got my board games. Over here, I've got more board games and then Christmas decorations, so But here is my horror movie area. So I said I'm going to take all of the horror and Halloween-ish type box sets, and I'm going to put them over here. We'll make it a little display. So I've got a lot of these here with my Godzillas, my big old Criterion Godzilla set here, and the Gamera set over here. And I've got these Full Moon figures, but you already see Gingerweed Man and Eevee over there. But I've got here with the big old box set for the Puppet Master, which was elsewhere. So I've got a bunch of these. That little trophy was actually a prop in a horror movie. A lot of the Sterling box sets, and some anime that I look at as somewhat horror related. The which one is iffy, but Magic User Club is iffy, but they are witches, so, you know. And then, of course, finally over here, because it didn't fit very well in that little cubby, I have my Ghostbusters set, Phantasm, and, of course, my little skull thing. So let's keep going. More buttons. Alright, so in here is what I call the Closet of Doom. I call it the Closet of Doom because I basically have banished a number of movies and series to this that I don't want to get rid of, but I'm not as likely to watch. So I do have a bunch that are there, and I have my, let's turn this on here. I have a bunch of extras that are down here, some boxes, got an Xbox One X in there. I've got my big old expensive Monopoly set in here. Bless you, cat. So over here we've got my little girl here, Blanche. She's just enjoying herself. And there's Anderson again. We have our game table. We used to do some D&D gaming at this table. Might do it again one day. So at this part of the table, we've got, of course, some posters. One of my favorites here is a Skip Beat one, which was signed by the entire voice cast of the English dub. But, you know, we got some pretty cool box sets here. My Frank Capra one, which is one of my newest ones. Now these, I forgot to put away. Some dust cleaner. And another movie cleaner. And some 3D glasses. This is just tech odds and ends with a Cheech Marin signature, which I gotta hang up one of these days. And then this is just a bunch of like extras, stuff that comes in the sets and so on. A lot of those little cardboard things that go over that mess up if you leave them too long, so I just put them away here and keep them collected. So as you can see, those of you who haven't before, this is what it looks like fully. And I'm going to go through it a little bit so y'all can see. Over here, of course, I have my coffee mug with my little NES coasters. But I also have, of course, some of my awkward box sets. My Home Alone one, Beck, Turtles, Three Stooges, Twilight Zone. You know, some pretty cool ones. I got my cap that you see me usually use. It sits there on my skeleton. The eyes still work. The Final Fantasy poster is old. Matter of fact, it's as old as the game because it came with the game. And got one of my green screens with my X-Men poster. So over here, I have some video game stuff, which is pretty cool. A couple of video game box sets here, along with this, because I felt like it was getting too much moisture to it, so I decided to move it up there. I do have a couple things left there, which you'll see in there. My Camp Blood poster, my Hanging Judge. I've had him for ages. And my two Stranger Things sets. I love those box sets. I wish they would have continued doing it like that. As you can see, I've got my Switch games over here. Some PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and of course my Xbox games. Then I got Luigi hanging out back up here. So let's go over here. Before I start into the actual stuff, we've got the mantle here, which has a few things. We got, you know, my picture that I drew a long time ago, which was kind of weird. Ticket for Mary and the Witch's Flower. You know, just various hodgepodge. I got my entire Voltron metal sets right there, with Havoc sitting on the corner. A candle that was actually owned by Bruce Lee at one time in life, which I'd gotten from somebody that knew him. One piece thing, I can't remember what that is. My Dark Shadows with my Masters of Horror sets over here, and Chloe. And of course we got Dobby here, which is now guarding my Fellini set, which perfectly fits in there. And my complete Food Wars collection right here, which is pretty cool. And we can see Genji hanging out here. Before we get into more in depth, we'll show over here. We've got my little Puppet Master with my now showing As you can see right now, I'm working on Dragon Warrior 3, or Dragon Quest 3. And we have my TV that I watch most of my stuff on when I'm down here. With my PlayStation 5, my all-region Blu-ray player, my Series X, and I've got a Switch behind there. I've got my little Silent Hill holder here, which I do like. So let's show how I've got these. So how I have these set up is I have them in different sections. We've got the first section is just if it's like a set that has a lot of different stuff with different genres on it, so I can't place it. And I start with ones I've seen, which I've seen all of these. I have an Amityville section, an Alice in Wonderland section, a role-playing section, a video game section, holidays, Criterion. We got documentaries, then we got action and adventure, which I have separated here but not in animation. Comedy, a lot of comedy. Like I said, I'll go through these sets individually later. And then we've got drama up there. And then we have, at the end there, we've got fantasy. Because I have a number of fantasy sets. And over here we have horror. Horror is a big one because it goes all the way down from there all the way to that. Yep, and there's then martial arts, then musical, and we've got romance, and we have science fiction. We got superhero ones right here. And then we have westerns. And we have a Woody Allen section because I have pretty much every film that Woody Allen has made. Yeah, there's only 2 I think that would be in there that I have not seen. Then it goes into ones I have not watched. So everything down here at the bottom I have not seen, except for like the animated. We'll get into that. So I also, up on here, and I will show off these because I won't show off these in the sections, we have box sets that I have. And these aren't in any particular order. These are just live action box sets. We have a couple of things here like my Pez, my Justice League Pez, my little kitty cat holder here. And I mean, we got some pretty cool box sets. Some in print still, some out of print, you know. So, I mean, some cool stuff here. Some watched, some not watched. I haven't really differentiated that much during that. Little clay slime sculpture. And now more of these. Now, these box sets were kind of too big. They were just too bulky. If it was... Basically, my criteria was if it's more than 3 films worth in it, then it would go here. I still love this one. That's still my favorite. The Silent Hill Bank that came today, it finished things off. It's just great. That in my Capra set with my little Monty Python monster. Oh yeah, y'all see the Rocket Raccoon popcorn bucket. But of course, you asked for half a cup of coffee. So then when we get down here, we get like a little place where it stops, like we have a blank spot so we can have some expansion here. Then we got my animation. Now I have in the past separated for TV, separated for anime, but this time I've just said if it's animated, it's together. So American, Korean, all that, just all together. And it's in various sections. They're wider sections than the live action, and I do not have the unwatched divided into sections. So, you know, it's just unwatched because I want to watch it and then I choose for myself. But you can see lots and lots of anime. Matter of fact, I don't think we even gotten to the... Have we? No. Yeah, we have gotten into it. You can see right here, this little green tab marks the unwatched. Some of these box sets I've actually watched some of. But until I've watched the entirety of the box set, like that Batman set, I've watched about half the movies. And that Masaki Yuasa set, I've watched like 4 out of the 5 films. It's just I've got to watch all of them before I will clear it. But you can see unwatched. So on this side, I put all of my animated box sets that are in the same. The only ones that are, like I said, the odd-shaped ones I showed you earlier, those are the only exceptions to those rules. But you can see I've got a little cubie here. Contract? Well, the Right Stuff anime, back from Right Stuff, for those you remember it. She'll remember that whole thing. I thought that was kind of funny how they did it. I didn't think it was funny at the time, but I did it, you know. People were asking, is there a Right Stuff anime? No. No, there is not. Some of them I do have them on like a on ends if they're related, like the Bubblegum Crisis ones. I just can't upgrade because I love the sparkly. Then I got my Please Twins sets, which I also don't want to upgrade because they're cool looking sets. You know, there I got my two Astro Boys. I got Lena, Mekazawa, and Elle, which will be adorning Christmas tree once Christmas tree comes up. And there, and of course I got my Haposai that I sculpted in 9th grade, which I thought was pretty cool. So that is everything there. I mean, except for, I guess, what's all this, right? So I do pickups on my show, a lot of them, and we have been on kind of hiatus for the last 2 years, essentially. So this is like 2 years of pickups. I think I've shown maybe a third of what I picked up in the last 2 years. And so these are pretty much most of the pickups that I have yet to show off on the show in 2000, like late 22 on. So a lot of stuff can be from Black Friday of 2022 all the way to present time, which we know we need to upgrade. And that starts right there behind that Bubblegum Crisis set and goes straight down to the bottom. So the plan is, of course, if I watch something, it goes into the watched in the right section. I file it there. If I haven't seen one, but I've shown it off on the channel, it's going to go to the unwatched of its appropriate section, and then so on. So that's the whole. It took me a long time. It took me almost 2 years to get done, but now it is done. Of course, if y'all are interested, I will do more in-depth ones. Like maybe I can say, okay, this is the action section, or this is the horror section of it. This is the unseen part of that. Later in a later video. Let me know in the comments below if that's something of interest to you. Of course, if you did like this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and of course, share. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
This is the end of the show. We hope you liked it though. We had our spend, had time afraid. It's almost time to go. This is the end of the show. But we felt you'd like to know. A bunch of friends right to the end. A link just down below. This is the end of the show. So help us let you know. 'Cause here's Jake to say the things we thought just couldn't go.
And now we would like to take a moment to thank our friends at the Rebel Gaming Club for our rollicking opening number that has been gracing our videos for some time now. And we want to thank all our friends who come out for various projects and what have you. We have numerous links below, and we very much encourage you to check them out and give the other people a visit as well.
Hello, my friends! Hey! Yeah! Eddie, you're in too! Pour yourself a drink!